Cheers, bud. Thanks.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
having me.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. So this is our first rendition of, well,
Yeah.
first, congrats to Kenyon, because he's our, besides the construction crew, he's our first guest that's back for round two.
That's right.
We want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to all of our amazing sponsors. First off, 4 Aces Junk Removal, your one-stop shop for junk removal, demolition, and dumpster rentals. They make junk disappear. Next, United Construction Solutions. They've been around from the get-go. Your local pros for all your construction needs, from renovations to new build. And our venue sponsor, Complete Construction. They've been amazing, allowing us to record some of our episodes there. They're dedicated to building a stronger community, residential and commercial, one project at a time. They also build playgrounds and swing sets. Thanks again for all of our sponsors. Check out these amazing local businesses, and don't forget to like and subscribe our podcast.
We came up with a glorious idea, which was cigars and guitars for Kenyon.
It makes
So
sense.
we're just hanging out at his humble abode here, and we're going to just shoot the breeze and shoot the shit about music, St.
not?
Cloud, anything that comes to mind. So
But before we get started, we got a shout out to Old Fashion Cigar
Yes.
right there in downtown St. Cloud.
They're excellent.
it's
These
a bit of a sponsorship. Yes.
amazing,
Yes.
yeah. So
It's Gazette, isn't it?
Yeah,
Kinda
the
crumpled
Gazette.
up the beautiful.
the Gazette, and
Yeah.
there's different styles, but
This is the Churchill, or they call it the Double Toro. Yeah, it's bleached.
but the lounge itself is
It
fantastic.
is fantastic.
I mean, we've been there regularly.
Downtown,
Gessler,
right off
yeah,
10th.
right off of 10th. Just check them out.
If you want to know more, we did an episode with them. So
Yeah,
go back in
absolutely.
our history and find that episode.
Yeah, it was episode 2, I think, actually.
Yeah, shout out to everyone at that establishment, because this is relatively new for me. I just figured that I started it and I'd enjoyed it. I actually went to, so story about my introduction to cigars. I went on a cruise to the Dominican Republic,
Yes, sir.
got a cigar there just because I was like, let me buy one for myself and my dad. Never smoked it, never had an idea to smoke it. But then New Year's Eve, I think 2 years ago, I was like, I'm gonna break into
what it
this. And then that's where my journey
So
started.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like how you're sitting back. I'm sitting back in the attic.
Yeah, just chill, man. You
I
gotta
can't
chill.
help it with this stick in my hand.
Yeah, you're good.
Ba-dum-bum.
That's right. We really are going to let loose today.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
So Kenyon, touching on just the introduction to music, what do you got going on here soon? So
Yeah.
this episode will be out probably relatively soon, probably by the
Yes.
weekend of April 4th. What do you got
Okay.
moving into the future after that?
Yeah. So I am going to be having a new album coming out. I believe I've talked
awesome.
about it a lot. Yeah, but I'm so excited.
That's good.
It's a long time coming. My last release was in 2018. So this
There you go.
It's been a minute. So it's 15 songs. I've got the CDs actually, but I'm waiting for the vinyl to get pressed. It takes
Sure.
longer.
That's great.
So I'm actually getting 12-inch vinyl with it.
Nice, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you're a kind of a vinyl enthusiast, right? I was
Oh,
looking
yeah,
through a little
that's
bit of his
right.
collection, so it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I do. I love It's just a fun experience, and I think it's coming back. And I'm old school anyhow, so I think it makes sense for me.
So how many years is that between albums? What is
Yeah.
that?
Gosh,
7, 8 years.
way
8
too
years?
long.
So have you noticed any change in your style, in what you're
Yeah.
writing about, in your writing style? What are the changes you've
Yeah.
noticed in that time?
Listen, man, I think that so here's what I'll say is I heard it said that and the Rooster has a lot to say about it. I've heard it said from 16 to 25 you're the most creative you'll be in your life. And I think it's because your development of your frontal
Yeah.
lobe. And so I'm not 16 through 25 anymore.
No, you kidding me? would never guess. All right.
It's cigars.
It's
I never read that, but that's interesting.
No, it is interesting. And so at any rate, what's cool is a lot of these songs, believe it or not, I wrote in that period. And I just reached back in my journal and I dug them out. And
Okay.
and I'm a much better editor now.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I would laugh. I would read them and laugh. Like there's something in them that's good.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it's just not crafted well. I was a kid
Sure.
when I wrote this song.
Sure.
But there's something in it.
That's
and-
cool.
Yeah, so I got a lot of inspiration. I had so much fun making this album. So I think there's probably there's 15, it's a big
Too big album.
They're short though. It's really like a punk rock album.
Sure.
Take it with a grain of salt, because you know my.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Though stylistically, like it's not,
Stylistically, it is.
it's not my type of music where you're sitting there for 12 minutes listening
the
to an
Right.
entire experience. Yeah.
Is it the
Correct.
same type of like the rockabilly style?
There you
like,
go. Yes,
is it,
sir.
yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. And
That's good.
yeah, and I kind of melded my, Nirvana in high school. Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam were my heroes.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of grunge
That's
influence
TP.
there.
And married that with like Hank Senior and Johnny Cash,
There you go.
were my heroes as well. And
That's
I think
good.
it kind of is cool because they're short, punchy songs,
Yeah.
which is kind of more like the rock. But country and Hank and Johnny Cash are short, punchy songs.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I feel like they're punk.
So would you say lyrically when you wrote them, did you write them lyrically or musically or both back in that time?
Kind of both. The melodies and the lyrics for me they come at the same time.
Okay.
So, and it's because I think I write very simple songs.
Sure.
So I know the melody, and it's like a poem.
Yeah, yeah,
It
of
fits
course.
into a certain.
Yeah.
Now I changed the keys, so like I sing better now than I ever sang. I think most singers say that. You mature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Technique, learning a lot of
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
a little finesse, more dynamics.
And learning
So-
how to accommodate for your weaknesses as well, because
Exactly.
in some cases your voice will
I'm
fall
not
off.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, yeah.
So how long does it take you to typically write a song?
Oh man,
On
the
average.
good ones, 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
They just happen.
Really?
It's meant to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can attest to that creative spark. Yeah.
It
Nice.
is.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's so true too. And then the ones that, there's still. I'd like to say I never release anything that I don't truly love. So, but the other ones sometimes just give you a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like heck, if you count from when I first started them, when I was from 16 to 25, to now we're talking 15 years.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah. So,
How was that experience
That's
looking
good.
back on that? Because I'd imagine a lot of that's very grunge.
Yeah.
You're a little misaligned at that time in your life,
Yeah, that's
especially if
right.
you're listening to music like that.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
true. You don't know how to talk to girls.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So you got some of that angst in there, which makes it pretty fun. And then the comedy of it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's just because I think it's funny now. These songs are funny. I made them funny.
Sure.
So this is really a fun record. Like,
Cool,
I
cool.
think people will listen to it and find it very amusing. Yeah.
Would you do a sample for us?
It's funny you
Like,
should ask me. I got my
Right, guitar right there, right there. I mean, do you have like
We
a
didn't set this
sample?
up or anything.
No, at all.
Yeah, and you got it. Let me sing one here. I bet my pick is in my pocket. Let's see.
Oh, true musician
There
there.
you go. I always
Never
has it in
mind
the
that.
pocket.
Never leave home
It's like-
without it.
It's like pull it right out of my pocket sleeve.
There you
My
go.
wife's here. A little out of tune. I just tuned it, right?
You did.
We're
Maybe it's the
outside.
weather. Maybe it's the weather. It's the humidity.
It's just cigars, I think. Not old fashioned. Just cigars in general. I think it's close enough for our purposes.
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
just play a little bit of it.
You get a sample. You got to buy the album
Yeah,
to get
that's
the
right.
Yeah,
That's
sample.
right.
like a Spotify
Kenyon
preview.
Lockry right here, live.
That's right. I'll sing as much as I can remember, right? Fine. Let's see, I do it here. Fine. When I sing a love's gone wrong song, I feel the pain in every word I sing. And I thank you from the bottom of my broken heart. Now I might be a country music star. Finally, I know everything about cheating, lies and alibis to use and not get caught. And I learn now I'm such a fool and you've done me wrong. I can write myself some songs. I'm the makings of a country music star. All I need's a fiddle and a steel guitar. I owe it all to you, my sweetheart. I'm the makings of a country music star.
Nice.
Very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you, dude.
So that's the name of the song. The name of the song.
I think we named it
Makings.
Making a Country
Yeah, all of
Music
those
Star.
lyrics are the name of the song.
Well, no, makings of a country music star.
Yeah, and it was long, so we just made it Country Music Star.
Mm.
I say we, because it's totally a collaboration when you make music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
that's a good thing to touch on. So you
Yeah.
have a band
I do.
that you collaborate with everything with. So fill us in
Yeah.
on that process as an
Yeah.
artist working with a band,
Yeah.
and without losing the humbleness of that, because a lot of people do.
course.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just not very humble anyway. So no, It's tough with the band, so especially with these guys. I'm just kidding. I have the best group that I've ever had, and I've been doing this since high school, middle school.
With
I
the
had a
same
band
group?
in middle school.
Oh, no, okay,
we're
okay.
Just working with guys, and I've learned every lesson the hard way of having a band. But I say that, but best band I've ever had right now: Steve Reed, Tyler Orem, and Chris Burns, and they're all fantastic musicians. Really fantastic musicians, and no ego on stage ever. Just
Sure,
all fun, and the audience can see that, and they
Right.
feed off that.
Yeah. That's
And
exactly what you need.
It is, man. Especially when you're playing music like that. It's not like we're Van Halen, you know.
Right, right.
So it's cool, man, and they're very smart They're all three of them are better musicians than I am,
Sure.
and that's what you want to do. And thinking anything in
Yeah.
life is find
Surround
people better
yourself.
than you.
Yeah.
So they bring a lot to the table.
And what the hell am I doing with these guys? Well, better yet, what are these guys
Why are
doing
they-
with me?
Why are they
Yeah.
hanging out with me?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the idea. And then we did sub out some lead guitar parts, which I'm humbled to say, Kenny Vaughn. And a lot of people will know who that is, but some who don't. He plays lead guitar for Marty Stewart, cousin Kenny Vaughn. He's a very famous guitarist. And I met him through my Nashville journey. So that's pretty cool that I still have some connections in Nashville. And he's like, yeah, I'll play on it. And he said this is his favorite record that he ever
Nice.
played on of mine.
Nice.
So that was cool. And so he adds a flair to it as well.
Sure.
And then the guy who's mixing and engineering, Jed Johnson, he's from St. Cloud,
Okay.
brings a lot to the table too, because he'll say, hey, tighten that up. He'll say, what's the title of that song? And then maybe he heard me say makings of country music, and he'll say country music star. I'll be like, yeah, that's it. That sounds better.
This is more poignant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do have a band that you play with, the Osceola Boys,
Osceola
right?
Boys,
Are they the
yes, sir.
same group that you mentioned?
That's the same voice.
Oh,
yeah.
the same boys. Okay.
Yeah, same guys. And we play the main venue publicly. We play the Drunken Parrot every second Friday of the month.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta catch you playing. I haven't
It's
been there in
fun
a
with
while.
the band.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
different.
Yeah,
It's
I-
a different vibe.
I was going to bring that up because you do some venues solo, right? And
I
then you do
do.
some venues with the band.
Exactly. So I play like 80% solo, and but with the band, people it's a different energy level.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
It's just so fun. Yeah. And it's more fun for me too, because I got my buddies up there and we're all
Yeah.
ripping
Yeah.
off each other.
Of course.
Yeah.
And do you play other types of music other than your own?
We so do.
Yeah. What type? What?
Oh, we'll run the gamut, especially
Yeah?
with these clowns on stage with me.
Sure.
We'll play Michael Jackson.
Oh,
We'll, play,
that's great.
we'll rap.
So
Yeah.
for the audience, what are the days again? So every
Yeah,
other
It's the second Friday of every month.
second Friday of every month. So in this
Yeah.
case,
When is it?
the
April
10th, the
10th or 11th.
the 11th.
11th. That would be my birthday.
Hey,
There you go. Let's celebrate
okay.
at the Drunken Parrot, man.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Let's do it.
You want to do it?
Before
I don't have any plans.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
it's fun. I'm telling you guys, it's a blast. And it's become what you want every gig to happen is, I think it's been about a year since I've done this gig. And so people are like, oh yeah, is it the second Friday? Oh yeah, let's go.
That's
to
great,
there."
man.
So it's been so we got a bit more of a following there.
Sure.
Get people that know what I do and actually want to hear it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
of
you got
course,
a lot
yeah.
of love in that.
Of course.
audience.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And do you sell out? Like, is there a good amount of people that are there?
It can. I mean,
Yeah.
it feels sometimes the energy's really great, and even if it's a smaller crowd, it's a mighty crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
Do you
they-
find,
We've had that place packed, which is so cool.
but do you find that the Drunken, because they're set up a little bit better
Yeah.
than the Krabby Bill's
Well, it's different.
gig? It's a different
it's
gig.
a different gig.
It's a different
That's
gig.
all you can
Okay,
say.
yeah.
Barrett is a venue, I would argue,
Right.
where Krabby's is a restaurant.
Right.
Put it that way.
Got it.
So
Yeah, they're set up. They're
Yeah.
equipped for it.
it's just
Yeah.
a different vibe. Like I
Yeah.
tell families, you'd enjoy Krabby's better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
Because we came and seen you at Krabby's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
It's
was
more that vibe, right?
relaxed. It was completely
Exactly.
relaxed. You're on the water. It's
Yeah,
nice.
it was
Beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on the lake.
Well, that's when we announced Cigars and Guitars,
Yeah.
man. I mean, that's
Yeah,
when it came
yeah.
at the idea.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And in one of your breaks, we just sat down and said, hey,
Let's
man,
do
we
it.
should do this.
Why not?
There you go.
Exactly.
Love it.
Oh man, and we thought it was gonna be like 1,000,000 degrees out here. It's turning out
No,
so
it's
nice.
it's
awesome.
getting
The
nice.
breeze is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. I'm digging
This is a great time of year.
It's perfect.
March, April is perfect.
It is.
No, I go back a little further.
Well,
You're talking about.
I'm like November, December.
well,
I'm good with
listen.
that.
I have a pool, right? So for me, like, I look at it all around to be able to be in the pool without warming it, without spending the money on warming it. So, you know, April, May, for me, I think it's best because it's when I could enjoy
Oh, yeah.
my patio, when I could enjoy and hang out and stuff like that. So,
Oh yeah. Hey, we're very blessed to be in.
oh yeah,
We're in
Florida is amazing.
Yeah.
It is.
I want to talk about some of your passions that I've seen in the house with your
Yeah.
vinyl collection.
Yeah,
So what are
buddy.
your favorite ones that you have?
Oh, bud. I have to say my Mel Tillis collection.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know it, but Mel Tillis managed me, and it's okay if you guys don't know who Mel Tillis is. He's a country music legend.
Okay.
But I was told Eddie Stubbs from WSM, he told me once, he said, Kenyon, this is a really cold, calculated business, the music business. He said, you're as big as your last hit in this one.
There you go.
So-
That's true.
And Mel Tillis'
Makes
last
sense.
#1 hit was 1984.
Oh wow.
So he's still a legend. He's in the Country Music Hall of Fame, Grand Ole Opry member, Songwriting Hall of Fame. He's from Pahokee, Florida. So he managed me, and that's what really got me started
Sure.
in Nashville.
How was that, having someone of such notoriety believing in you
Oh,
and
it-
choosing to
Like I won the lottery.
manage you? Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Like when you find those people that are like super successful and they're like, no, I want to work with you. You're just like,
Yeah,
what?
I was,
Yeah.
And I was 21, cocky 21.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe 20, and so I was even impressed then.
yeah, right.
Yeah, but he saw something in me, and I know that looking back, there's so much more talent in Nashville. He could have picked anybody.
Anybody
Right.
else, man?
There are people way better than me, but I think it was because I was a Florida boy,
Sure.
and he knew Mike Parton. Mike Parton's who, and the Partons of Osceola
yeah.
County. Mike Parton is who introduced me to him.
That's about who you know.
It is-
There you go. That's what it is.
It is true. And
That's
so
what it
that
is.
I think I reminded him of himself in some way, except I don't stutter.
He
So
stutters?
Yeah. And he made it big, man. Movies, he did cameos with like Clint Eastwood, Every Which Way
Nice.
But Loose, and Burt Reynolds and the Smokey and the Bandit. Those
Awesome.
movies, yeah.
Love
Small town in Florida. Yeah, I'd say that's making it pretty damn
That's
good.
pretty good.
I'm telling you, dude. That's right, man.
That's pretty
So-
good, man.
But so what happens is a lot of people will buy me Mel Tillis records, and it's my favorite.
That's cool.
So I've got a bunch of Mel Tillis records.
How does your collection vary? Like what else do you got in there?
Dude, AC/DC, Beastie
Oh, of course.
Boys. Oh yeah, Michael Jackson.
That's great. Michael Jackson ones are pretty
Oh,
badass.
yeah.
Are you more
Oh,
on
I love
the
Michael Jackson, man.
Are you more on the listening or the collecting side?
Listening? I'm
Okay.
totally about. I had one person give me a Mel Tillis record that said, "I'll only give it to you if you don't open it."
Yeah,
And I
right.
said, "Okay, I won't open it."
Speaking of, do you have any that are not open? That one. That's it. All the other ones you've
'Cause
opened.
I believe. Hey, I want to hear the thing.
You want to
Yeah.
hear?
But so I'm not a collector. There we
Yeah,
go.
I've
Yeah.
treaded that line.
Yeah.
Obviously, I started listening because I love music.
Yeah.
But then I would walk into Batch of Music and he'd have a couple, and I'd just be like, all right, I really want that.
We
I
gotta,
have
get,
the
we gotta
money.
get them on, man.
So-
we gotta get them on.
Yeah.
I have two that are worth a decent amount, which are, and I paid a pretty penny for them. One is Porcupine Trees album, which was a 90s band,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that because not a
You
lot
got
of
me on
people
that one.
put.
You missed me on that one. I
Yeah,
don't know that
so
band.
Porcupine Trees, more overseas band, but not a lot of bands put albums out in the 90s, not
No
vinyl.
doubt. Not especially that past like what 94.
Yeah, so they put a vinyl out, and it's an original vinyl from that
Yeah.
time frame. And then he got one in the shop that was an original "Couldn't Stand the Weather" by Stevie Ray Vaughan, still sealed.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, I'm buying the shit out of that.
Yeah,
like,
I got
I'm
that,
not
man.
opening it. Like,
Stevie Ray Vaughan, man. Oh yeah, that's cool. And I was thinking you were gonna go with Beatles because that's the main one that people have. And Frank's. Well, and I got a lot of
Michael
friends
Jackson too. Michael Jackson's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
yeah, for
No
sure.
doubt.
I got a good amount of Frank Sinatra in my collection. I have musicals too. Like I had to do Rocky Horror. I had to do all
That's
kinds
cool,
of stuff
dude.
like
Yeah,
that.
and I got Urban Cowboy soundtrack. And so my dad was a DJ.
Nice. Oh, there you go. That's
Yeah,
easier
and
for
so
sure.
he had a lot of that. That I don't know if he knows that I have them, but I've kind of cleaned them out.
Yeah.
Urban Cowboy, I believe it's from '81, like when it came out, but it's played, so I don't know if it's worth anything.
Right,
I would
right.
never sell it anyways.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it don't matter.
Saturday Night Fever,
Yeah.
yeah.
Those are highly sought after and collectible, like your
Oh, yeah.
your Star Wars soundtrack
Yeah,
original,
I bet.
Saturday Night Fever,
Yeah.
Grease. like when people
yeah.
want vinyls, they're like, oh, I want that because that's kind of
That's
what
so
they grew
true.
up on.
It is such a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like,
Yeah.
I got a good bit of Elvis and Sinatra just because, like, if I'm going to listen to Elvis or Sinatra, I want it to be on a vinyl record.
It's nothing like it, man. I got a lot of Elvis too. So my favorite, Johnny Cash,
Yeah.
Elvis, and Hank.
And I got a good amount of Johnny Cash and
Yeah.
Hank as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different experience to put the needle on a record, sit
100%.
down, maybe have a drink, and sit and listen, and just
Yeah.
don't do anything else but listen to music. Like, so with streaming, it's awesome, but it's also made it almost a little easy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not an experience to listen to music.
Right,
You're just
right.
streaming it.
And Bob taught me when I first started going in there, and he built a sound system for me. And he's like, once it went to analog, the sound got compressed. So you don't get everything that
Right.
you're getting in the
Once it went to
studio.
digital.
Yeah, yeah, digital.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like the
true.
closest you're going to get is cassette,
Yeah.
but the best you're going to get is vinyl.
Yeah.
So build a system around your vinyl, and you're going to hear
You
everything.
will, and so I cheat. I told you that I'm cheating because I have a Sonos, which is
Yeah,
Bluetooth.
yeah.
So a real purist would turn their nose up at the way I listen to.
Yeah, but you're hearing it throughout the whole
Right,
house.
that's
so-
all right.
Yeah,
You-
so it's cool.
yeah.
I can be in my bedroom and hear the Waylon record that I
You have
just
it connected. You have it connected to
Yeah.
the player.
Oh yeah.
That's
It's so
nice,
cool.
man. It's really nice.
It's an RCA plug-in. So it's like, oh no, it's not. It's like, so you lose so much fidelity. I get it. You got RCA into like a headphone jack in the
Right,
back of
right.
the Sonos.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, but it's
Yeah.
so convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Listening to those really good concept albums on vinyl is
that's
changing. Like, yeah, Bob turned me on the Moody Blues.
Oh.
I mean, he didn't turn me on to,
The
but like
Who
Pink
did that,
Floyd,
right?
yeah,
Pink
The
Floyd.
Who,
Yeah.
anything that's kind of more industrial and
Oh,
like has a
yeah.
concept of the whole album. Just, yeah, I always
Yeah.
tell people buy the album. Like,
Absolutely.
if you're not listening to the whole album, you're
You're
missing out.
it. Exactly. Especially the Wall. It almost is like begging you to buy it.
That's awesome.
The Wall, it's like the song starts with weird sound, it ends with weird. It's like, where's it going?
Yeah.
It's going to the next story. It's like you have to hear the whole damn thing.
Yeah, and put it at that. And
Yeah.
anyone who's a music enthusiast, like, and
Yeah.
I'm talking to like the newer generation
Yeah.
now that doesn't know, like,
They
but
make-
if you find yourself
I
as,
think they're getting
Uh,
the hunger for it.
yeah, if you like, fancy yourself some kind of a music enthusiast, like,
Yeah.
start buying records and start listening to whole albums because
That's right.
it'll
so
change
into
the game.
B-sides. Yeah. I get tired with the hits sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, I want to hear the stuff of,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Man. And is a rumor true that if there's some vinyls that if you play backwards, there's like,
I
So-
don't know. I
is
think
it
it's
Ozzy Osbourne or
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it,
yeah.
I think
which
it's
is it?
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
But I've never tried it.
You haven't?
No.
Interesting.
I don't know, man.
Have you?
There's some, yeah.
I
I
don't know
mean,
how you would do it.
I mean,
You have to be a
you
super
have to
creative artist.
manually. You have to know
Well, yeah,
which
but
one it
how would
is.
you
Yeah.
create it back then with instruments.
Well, yeah, God knows.
To go backwards and say a message.
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
It seems pretty far-fetched, but
But is it true though,
But
or
the-
is
the-
that a
but the
rumor? Bob will
copious-
probably know.
The
Yeah.
copious amounts of drugs people were doing, how creative they had to be. Like,
Weeks
we have to be
doing-
different. This is how we be
Yeah,
different.
but was it Ozzy Osbourne that
Ozzy
did
is
that?
the one accused of it.
Okay.
Yes.
yeah.
And the Beatles, I believe it's the Sgt. Pepper. There's a story
Is
of
it?
that one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon album, they say you can hit it once the MGM line, the third roar, you drop the needle, and it plays with Wizard of Oz like the first 40
Oh, that's
minutes of
cool.
it. Yeah.
My dumb teenage self did that, by the way. Yeah, I
it work?
did.
It's kind of a stretch, right?
It's a stretch, but like,
Yeah.
look, if I'm watching this and I'm synced up with the Wizard of Oz and I got Pink Floyd playing,
Yeah,
if
that's
I'm
that's funny to me.
if I'm high, I'm probably thinking like, oh, this
This
matches
is
up for
amazing.
sure. Yeah,
How did they do it?
yeah.
They went to
And
time
chances
machine
are, if you're
70
listening to
times.
Pink Floyd at that time in your life, you're probably pretty high.
That's, hey, no comment. That's good. That you can't deny how good that album is.
Oh no,
Oh my gosh.
that's the albums
You
I.
ever get into much of that, Jason?
No, not the
That's
vinyls.
all right.
I mean, the vinyls that I got into were like
Like you
freestyle.
mentioned Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson, and there were some Nirvana stuff
Yeah.
and Bon Jovi
Oh
stuff.
yes.
right? But like I went to cassette tapes, like
Yeah,
that's what
no
I did.
doubt.
You know, I was in that
I do
generation
cassettes too.
that I would even
Yeah.
record with the radio, and I would get the cassette tapes.
Did you
And that's
ever
as
make
far as
your
I go.
girlfriend some mixes?
I did,
Yeah.
and I even
Oh,
did. I mean,
yeah.
on CDs as I got older,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
But
Let me
but-
burn a CD for you.
Let me burn a CD. But the cassette tapes was like that's what we were when we were 10, 11 years old.
Oh yeah.
You know, we'll press pause, wait for the song to come out.
That's right.
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
it comes. You hear the DJ talking.
That's
to
what it
the
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the vinyl, I mean, the closest I got to vinyl was at the clubs. I had a friend that was in like a DJ,
Like
and he
mixing,
would
like down
mixing
south, right?
yeah, Miami.
Yeah.
You know, so
Like
they
that's-
would know
that's-
scratch, but you know DJ, and
That's
there was
the epicenter for that.
there was freestyle.
That's a
there
whole
was all
different
type-
musical
Yeah, different.
genre and vibe
Yeah,
and
completely different.
culture,
Super
musical
cool.
culture. Yeah.
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 Super cutting edge. Like it was all about hot off the press.
Yeah, yeah.
Brand new. No one else in the world's listening to this.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
Yeah. So fun, man.
Yeah, music is awesome, man. Music
Oh,
is a
yeah.
great way of expression.
It is.
It's amazing.
It changed. It's all.
I'm sure it changed you completely. Like gives you a
yeah.
whole.
I tell kids all the time, learn an instrument. You won't regret it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good thing to, even for someone that's not musically inclined. Like I know people that are somehow can sit down at things and be naturally musically inclined.
Yeah.
Oh, me
I've
too.
been-
And I'm not that guy, believe it or not.
I've been told I am, but I've never picked up and
Yeah.
like ran with an instrument. Like I started playing music at like 12, 13. I had a bass guitar and I played
Yeah.
that, but I never ran away with it, right? But I've
Right.
always loved music. So,
I get it.
you know, played keyboard, piano, stuff like that,
Really?
taken voice lessons,
Nice.
just because I've always had a giant
Yeah.
appreciation
Yeah.
for music.
That's cool, dude.
And then people would be like, you're very naturally, like I'd go to bars, like when I don't drink,
Here,
but
here,
I'd still do like dancing with the group and they'd
Yeah,
hear
really?
me, they'd hear me sing or I'd sit
Oh,
down
yeah.
at a piano and they'd be like, you're very musically inclined.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, I just fucking like music.
Yeah,
You know what's funny is
well,
that
you are though. If people are telling you.
it's like Kid Rock. I don't know if you saw the other day. Kid Rock. I mean, we know him from the '80s and '90s
Yeah.
as the rapper, right? The
Yeah.
rapper, and
Yeah.
then he got into rock. You know,
Yeah.
kind of like rap rock.
Yep.
But the other day he was at the White House,
Yeah, I
and
saw
he
that.
played piano. But like if he was Beethoven,
He's just playing
like
classical.
classical piano.
Whoa.
And I'm like, man, that's amazing, dude. You have that.
Yes,
You have to
guys.
have that talent. Those people. Once you're an artist like that, right? You got
I
talent.
often think that if I was just touring all the time, you would just do it.
Yeah.
I'm not. It doesn't matter what I say about Kid Rock. But I'm saying, like, if you were on tour and you were hanging out with your pianist,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, hey, show me how to
Yeah.
do that.
Right,
And
right.
you're all day.
Here, just adding
all
to your
all
arsenal and your
touring.
repertoire, yeah.
Exactly.
And understanding music.
Yeah.
Like I still can't read music for shit. I think that's a huge skill that I would like to,
I
learn?
did when I was a kid, but I lost it.
yeah.
I can't read music either.
And I think great people that can read music, you can tell when they're creating music that like they're a little bit notch above. Like you mentioned earlier with your
Oh,
band,
yeah.
right? Like you'll see that in really good bands. Everyone's really good
Right,
at their
yeah.
instrument, but they also bring their own sound to the whole thing.
Yeah.
I
Jay
agree with
based
that.
off what they listen to,
Correct.
the first example I can think of is like think of Metallica with Cliff
Oh, yeah.
Burton and
Oh
then
my
without
God.
Cliff Burton.
Different
Yeah,
band.
different.
So Cliff Burton was classically trained, and you can hear
Oh,
that
You
in
can
the
hear
first
it.
2 to 3 Metallica albums.
Yeah. That's arguably their greatest album. Well,
Yeah.
Master of Puppets, I guess.
Yeah, Master of Puppets to me is a masterpiece.
It's a
but
masterpiece.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so cool. And that's what I say, like, these guys that I'm with now, they don't have the same, they don't go home and listen to Johnny Cash like I do. You
Right,
know what I
right.
mean?
They
That's
bring
what
something more to it.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think, and I'm just assuming, but like if you had 4 Kenyons on stage, your sound would be very rudimentary.
Exactly.
Your sound would just be like, this is what I play, this is what we're good
There's
at.
some guys that they get so in their heads, like they're like, hey, I'm gonna hire you, but you gotta play like this.
Right.
It's like, what a waste.
Yeah.
Like, hire the guy because he's good at
Right.
what he's doing.
Yeah.
and
Right.
different.
You're not letting
Exactly.
the artist be the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's
No,
tough.
there's a line, of course. If I
Sure.
got a funk bass player, I'm gonna be like, hey,
Right.
I'm
Right.
not gonna hire the guy in the first place.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah.
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 That comes down to like country bands and jazz bands. Like, I haven't been to one yet, but I'm looking to go to like a jazz club just because
Yeah.
whole different experience, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Jazz clubs are fun, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta, there's
So-
etiquette.
Yeah, so at the Black Squirrel, they have jazz night
Mm-hmm.
at least once a month. And they go and they have their jazz music.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You should talk to Joy from.
I've played there before.
You played
Joy
there.
is a
Okay, there you go.
sweetheart, and
She's
I love her.
amazing. You can play there whenever you want, man. That's
Well,
amazing.
I will
You got.
tell her you said that.
Well, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Right, no, but Joyce is super good.
I'm
people.
sure you can have it.
No, yeah, she's sweet, and I love playing there. It's such a classy place.
Yeah, it's place.
Yeah,
It's
it's
awesome.
that venue's awesome.
I love it. I love it.
And I think it matches your style when you get dressed
It
up
does.
with the suit.
It
and-
does.
yeah.
Thank you. I feel that way too.
And they extended it too, so it's more like it's
Oh,
actual
it's a
venue, a
cool
full venue.
vibe.
It's amazing.
Cool vibe.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Denny and I have been known to sneak in there on the evenings when we can
Oh yeah, when you can sneak
get
out.
away,
That's
which
good.
are few and far between.
Yeah, I know it's not easy. Yeah.
I know, dude.
Yeah.
So
I'm still trying to get my wife out there. She's like, oh yeah, I think I've
Oh,
been
it's so
there
cool.
when it was a library. And I'm like, okay,
you guys
great,
would-
but
yeah, it's perfect date night.
yeah, just hang out.
It's an awesome venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if you're into anything that's in that place, like books,
Yeah.
culture, mob culture, jazz, like
Absolutely.
anything.
100% piano.
And I'm into
music.
every bit of that.
Absolutely.
Me too.
Yeah, it's
Who
just great.
isn't?
It's a
Yeah.
great
I mean,
spot.
I guess there's people that aren't, but
Not people that are going there, right? Like
Exactly.
that you're gonna find your
It's so-
kinship with
It's
people
so
going
cool.
there.
yeah, it is.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
These cigars are awesome, man.
These
Speaking
are.
of, man, Gessler, good job, Gessler from Old
Yes.
Fashion. I love it.
Shout out to Old Fashion Cigars.
I mean, this is really good. It's smooth. It's
very
nice.
smooth.
It's really
Shout out
cool.
to them for, I'll share this openly now. Like, again, I'm newer to the cigar game, but just going in and asking them questions
Oh yeah.
completely
Super
changed
helpful.
my mindset. Like,
Yeah.
pointed me in the right direction. I now know where to go to find an enjoyable
Yeah.
cigar.
Yeah.
You know, like
Look at that,
super helpful.
Gust of wind's blowing my merchandise around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kenyon's
it's even
got-
moving my camera a little bit.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Kenyon's,
No, it's a great breeze.
Kenyon's
It is
CDs are getting thrown to the
I
floor.
know. I don't know why I brought it up. Maybe because I was just gonna do like, hey.
Yeah.
Come-
Walk it up to the camera before we're done.
Yeah.
Hey, Sal.
The one thing I would say about Old Fashioned, and it's unfortunate, but they're limited to the space that they have. Could you imagine if they had like double or
Oh yeah, it'd
triple
be
the
awesome.
space?
Yeah.
It would be amazing.
They could pack it too. I think
They could
It's always
pack it.
Busy.
They could
I
pack
feel like
it.
it's always busy.
It's pretty much always been,
Imagine
especially
putting,
the weekends.
imagine putting some music in there in a bigger space.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I know he's thinking about it. I know he wants to do it, but it's just tough, man.
It's cool
Yeah.
how the
Easy.
breeze spills in there though too.
Yeah, I like
Breeze
it.
usually has music, don't they?
Breeze, yeah, they
Sometimes,
have
yeah.
music. Yeah, they have music.
I say the breeze. Is it just
Yeah, it's breeze.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta drop the
Yeah, you gotta drop the, and then we have to drop the S because I always say breezes,
breezes.
but it's not breezes, it's
I,
breeze.
I
I
don't
should
even
call
think
it
that's
the
about the
breezes.
word. I
What
think
is
that's in the English language.
Yeah, we're messing it up.
The breezes.
Yeah.
The breezes, they're just messing it up. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, but they're cool too, man. Another
Oh,
shout out.
super Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very collaborative. Like right there on that corner is very collaborative.
It is.
Yeah.
10th Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, between Fire and you have Chelsea Produce,
Yep.
Old Fat, like they're all together. You know,
Yeah.
as it relates to food.
It's
You know,
awesome.
and the whole thing.
It's pretty much that's like the you can't even be more downtown. It's
Yeah.
like that first
Yeah.
thought. And they're all seems like there's a good synergy.
Well, in the next 5-10 years, when the hotel is built out,
Yeah.
they're gonna have the bottom,
wait, what?
the bottom
Hold on,
floor.
hold on.
God knows when.
Don't-
I'm just putting 5 to 10
Look,
years.
We're a little too late in the day, and this is a little too lax to get me started on the same cloud, okay?
Yeah, but the goal is to have that little bar or restaurant in the bottom also connected, not connected, but like in the same area. So
Yeah.
whenever it is, 20 years from now, whenever it
Yeah.
gets built,
Yeah.
it'll be that nice little corner spot that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yes. I think that's the most synergy. I know that's like a buzzword. I don't like using buzzwords, but that's like the most synergy downtown St. Cloud's ever had.
Yeah.
I would argue.
Yeah, I'm
to
with
have
you.
that many boom. That
Yeah, I
that
agree.
are all working together.
I agree.
Yeah. So speaking of, I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I hate to say it, and I hope there's no disrespect
No, you
to
don't.
anybody.
No,
Hold
you
on.
don't. No, you
So
don't.
that Metro PCS or that like cell phone thing in that other corner,
Yeah.
that is trash for
It
you
is.
to be in that corner.
It just doesn't make sense as
It's a bad corner.
What should it?
It should be another restaurant or a bar.
That'd be
That
cool.
corner needs to be something else. So whatever the lease is, and I'm sorry, I forgot who the owner is there, but get out. Like, no, for real. Like,
be
it's
cool.
it would be cool to have something else there, because then you have that whole corner spot, right?
Where is that? Sorry, I'm blowing.
No, so the cell
Kenyon.
phone. So it's 10th in New York. So whatever that cell phone place is,
10th Street
right.
is.
Okay.
yeah, and that's a perfect spot because you're right by City Hall.
Is that the one right in front of the hotel, or is it further?
Yeah, right in front of the
okay.
hotel. But they take that whole spot.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, what are you
It's an
doing?
old bank or something, isn't it?
It's an old bank.
Yeah, it's an
but
old bank.
but it's a cell phone place. Like who?
We got a good history tour on that. the other
Yeah, we
night.
did. We did. It's cell phone. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm sorry. Is it Jose Martinez? Is that his name? Is that the guy's name?
I don't know.
I forgot the guy's name. Whoever
Yeah,
as a
don't know.
manager. But it's like, man.
I mean, if we're getting honest,
you're
like,
just
can
a-
I
you're just a
talk to some
bad-
city council
bad-
members? Because
yeah, we should.
look, you guys are fucking slack.
I'm sure.
I'm not saying
We need to get. And then that other.
a weird territory here.
Yeah.
He
and
can't say anything because he's like, I know some of those people. I'd like to get to know you
yeah.
so I can
know
tell
what?
you where you can do better.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. My last name is Albritton.
Don't
man.
mention that too loud to some people, okay?
I love the Albritons, by the way. Butch is one of my favorites of all time. Favorite people. Forget Albritons.
Yeah, just people in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I met your cousin at Garage Bar. I think is a cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a bartender.
Yep.
That was cool. Like, is she part? She's also an Albritton.
No, she's my mom's side of the
Oh,
family.
your mom's side.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It's good times, man.
Yeah, don't get me started on the city of St. Cloud.
I mean, downtown. I mean, yeah. I mean, SoundCloud. They have, of course, ups and downs for sure. But like, the goal still is to be the small town, is to be close and have like these small venues, and
Yeah.
absolutely love it. So if we
I do
continue
too.
with that mentality of doing
I
this,
love that vibe.
we should continue doing that, man.
I agree.
Like, I want to be like a Sanford or like
Sanford's done a good job, haven't they?
they have.
Yeah.
So if we could shoot for that,
But
that would
still,
be
places like Winter Garden still have that. Like
Yeah.
Winter Haven still
They
has
have,
that.
yeah.
And they're still blowing up, but they're a lot better with bringing money in
Yeah,
and bringing
they have.
businesses in than St.
They
Cloud
have.
is. Because I think there's a huge disconnect. I'll say it openly. I don't care. I think there's
Yeah,
a
I
huge
can tell.
disconnect with some people that have been working at the city for 10 to 15 to 20 years, and they don't.
yeah.
They're just stuck in their ways.
They're stuck in their ways.
And I don't. I
You should
agree
be mayor.
with the trend. I agree with the tradition. Trust. I'm an Albritton. I agree with the tradition.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but you're costing yourself a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're costing yourself a lot of people to come in here and spend money to make your community bigger.
I'm
Like,
with you.
I mean, the St. Cloud Hotel should have been done. 10 years
I
ago.
don't
Yep,
have
they should
any
have.
freaking clue how to handle or what they are up against or how to handle all that.
Yeah, I don't know either, man.
I would love to sit down with some city council members because I've seen. Look, personally, and I'll go on record to say this. I have requested records from the city of St. Cloud for some of their venues and some of the things and the way they do them, and I've pointed out to them how they're losing money and they don't care.
They don't care.
Really, they probably care. They're just maybe trying to be cool.
Well, look, people never like being told what they're doing wrong,
That's true.
ever.
It's
Especially from someone who's like, they're just like, who are you? I'm just like, I'm the poor person pointing this shit out to you.
Though, that's such a good quality, though. Like, you gotta listen to people telling you that.
Yeah.
At least hear them.
At least hear them out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got to.
And then I don't know who the owner of some of the buildings are, but like they're driving businesses out of those spots because they're raising the rent 2, 3, 4, 5 times
Yep.
in 6-month
How
increments.
does that work? There's the people that own the building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a gentleman, I don't even know his name. Like, he owns one side of the building, and then he's just driving people out with raising the rent 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't afford this, so I'm gonna leave. So then now it's like people come in for a year and they leave, and people come in for another year
How
and
do you handle that? You know what I'm saying?
it's crazy.
Because you got to believe in. You can't. The guy wants to make money. I believe in capitalism.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you regulate?
I
Or
don't-
what do you do?
He just cares about bringing a new tenant in. That's all he cares about.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, I don't know if
I
you know him.
respect
Do you know
that.
him?
No, I don't know.
I just don't understand. I don't know how you would ever cure that.
Yeah, we just need more spaces. Like
You make it legislation easier to start up businesses
I mean, that whole town.
because then you're going to have people that can stay longer, but you also have businesses coming in from different cultures and different areas that can
Sure.
easily start those businesses
Yeah.
and stay there.
that whole New York Ave from pretty much from Davies, from Sweet Spot Snowballs, all the way down should
Yeah.
be venues to eat, drink, and shop. Like, that's the
Yeah.
way it needs to be from there all the way until City Hall, right?
Yeah.
But if you have empty spots and a tattoo shop, I'm not a huge fan of
I just
tattoos.
don't think it makes
But
sense.
like,
there.
give me a break.
I get it.
You
I
know,
get
it's like,
I
come
think
on.
there should be a little bit more synchronicity between the lakefront and downtown as well, because like
I think
that's where a
the
lot of
goal.
people
I think that's the goal, too.
travel to
it.
see the lake.
What
The
they've
lake's
done with
great.
Florida's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's where my
100%.
office is, by the way.
Yeah, he knows. Like he's on Florida, but you and I both know like Florida was supposed to be the epicenter for the state streets, because like
Yeah.
that's where all of your expensive houses were initially
I don't
built.
believe I knew that.
What do you
I
mean?
believe I knew that.
I think we
about
wasted
Florida.
your protein.
Yeah. So
Oh no, is it out though?
I don't know. You tell me.
get
So when they started building houses on the state streets, that's why Florida is split. That's why
Oh,
Florida
yeah.
had been split from downtown all the way to the lakefront, because you had your more expensive houses right there, and
There's
that
a
ran
nice-
straight down to
nice
the lake.
street. I just didn't
It
know
is.
what it was
Yeah.
earmarked for.
All the way to lakefront. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, I could say they're trying. Like, look, man, I don't know how legislation works.
Me
I'm just
either.
throwing out
I love
ideas.
your-
I don't know
love what you
how.
guys are saying that. I agree wholeheartedly.
I'm
100%.
sure there's a whole lot of red tape, but my point is,
I'm sure
some of
there
that
is.
red tape was put in motion 30 years ago,
Yeah.
and for
That's
people that
correct.
could barely afford to start a
Well, it was
business.
just apples and oranges that. I mean, maybe 30 years ago, it was getting kind of.
But I mean,
50
Osceola
years
County
ago,
in general
60
is
years ago.
suffered from that. Like
Yeah.
that's why it's so backwards right now. You have all this money coming in, but Osceola County was ran by anyone with money knows that Osceola County was Good Old Boys Club.
Oh,
Okay,
of course, dude.
like everyone
I
knows
love all
this.
the good old boys.
Yeah, but they weren't prepared for the
They
growth
just
we see.
know, and how could they have been?
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Have you got?
It's a tough one.
It is. Have you been to the Crumbs and Crusts place
No.
yet? The
Mm-hmm.
new pizza place?
Whoa,
It's
I
right
saw
by-
the sign.
Yeah.
It's
Where's that?
where,
Where Gen X used to be.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right. The pizza's good.
I bet.
The
I can't wait.
yeah, the wings are good.
How late are they open?
They're open pretty late, 10, 11
Because
o'clock.
I always thought
Wings and pizzas, like okay,
Wing,
I'm
pizza,
there.
and desserts.
Oh, nice.
So it's the crumbs
Crumbs.
and the crust. So the crumbs is
And
the
the
dessert
dessert.
part, and then the crust is the
I
pizza
like it.
part.
yeah.
I like
That's
it.
cool.
Right. Yeah.
Because I always thought back when there was a few more bars downtown, like an eatery that was open till 12, 1 a.m. would probably do decent, especially if it was like, hey, let me just go grab a
sure.
slice.
Is
Yeah.
there one
I don't know.
now?
I don't know.
I don't know how late they're open to. 10, 11.
Yeah.
I don't think it's 1, 2 in the morning. They're not
Right.
going to be
Yeah.
like that.
The COVID
Yeah.
changed a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, they
though.
did.
Yeah,
They
Like
did.
COVID completely, like places used to be open till midnight, 3 a.m., but COVID
Yeah.
completely erased that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it could happen again, though.
Yeah, we're getting there. I think
Yeah.
little by little we're getting there. It's
Yeah.
just the owner of that building. They just want people. They just want money.
Yeah.
So they're pushing everybody
it's-
out. They're
It's
pushing everybody
really
out.
tough
So
for, like the kind of venues you're talking about
yeah,
to make it happen, isn't it?
yeah. So I mean, Gessler is a great spot, man. I think Old Fashion Cigar, and they have the little patio outside. And then on Wednesdays when they do the markets, they have it is. They have their dominoes outside. They
Yeah,
actually
it's great.
rolling the cigars out there.
That's
Like how many cigar places you see where they're actually rolling the cigars in front of you? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You don't see that very rarely. You know, and it's great.
And the monthly market's great as well. Like
Monthly market's cool.
Monthly markets
Yeah.
is good.
It
I
was-
think that's a good.
What I think school, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you.
please.
On Wednesdays, when it happens, I'm like, what is that? There's like, I keep hitting
Yeah.
it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's monthly. There's so much
Right.
that comes down Florida. Florida
Yeah.
12th. Right on the corner.
That whole area, yeah.
That's where my office is.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
see what I'm saying? It's right. Just
Right.
No, it's that whole
come see
area.
me.
Yeah.
You should just pay one of those food trucks to set up in front of your office.
No, I know it'd be so cool.
For sure.
So cool.
And I know they're doing a lot more events at the lake.
Yeah.
Like they had that food truck gathering last year.
Yeah.
They had a big food truck gathering
Yeah.
at the lakefront.
The Spring Fling.
Yeah.
That's this
There's
Saturday.
a lot of great food trucks around here.
Yeah.
And your population has increased so much, like you definitely need those kind of things.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt.
like a lot of people coming from out of state pick St. Cloud because it's close to the beach, it's close to Orlando. They're not
yeah.
necessarily picking it for St. Cloud. Like I know that from the real estate side.
Got it.
You know,
You know what's interesting though? So
We had the Mardi Gras pub crawl
Yeah.
at the Black Squirrel bookstore, and there's a couple. I think the couple and then the two friends that came from Melbourne just to do the pub crawl. So they went to do the pub crawl and went home back to Melbourne. Right, 45 minutes away. I mean, it's
Yeah.
right there. Right, it's not that far.
Right.
And it's amazing that we get people from there to come and hang out.
That's
You know,
cool.
in St. Cloud, out of all places.
That's pretty sweet.
Love
that
it.
drive
guess-
is very easy.
I guess they're
Easy,
just they're
smooth,
sick
yeah.
of the beach.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, but there's a.
I've always liked that drive too.
No, that
Oh,
drive
yeah,
is great.
yeah.
It's very smooth, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I love Melbourne. I love Cocoa Beach, that whole area.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of nice spots out there too, but it's great for them to come out this way.
And that's about to get slammed with what they're doing to Nova Road. Nova Road ain't gonna be Nova Road anymore.
Yeah.
Not for us locals.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We think Nova Road, we
are they
think
doing out
empty.
there?
So I mean, because it's connecting to Sunbridge, they're two-laning that thing.
Really.
All the way to like the 528.
Yeah, so you got Sunbridge Lane, you got where that's connecting to Eden, where the school is going, and with all this stuff, like Nova Road, they're going to widen. And I mean, people in the manor just got hit with where the connector of the turnpike's coming in. They're talking about building a road from Canoe Creek Turnpike
Yeah.
all the way connecting to 192 around
Around the
double
manor.
side, yeah, around Lake Gentry, all the way to 192 to hub into where all of that is.
But then then Nova is just gonna go straight. So before it goes to Cocoa Beach, it's just gonna keep on going and split to 528.
I'd have to be looking at a map
Yeah.
to really tell you.
Because Nova, I tried doing it where I went on Nova, but then it was just going towards Cocoa. So
Correct.
at some point, I'm assuming it's gonna split, so it go towards the 417.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you'll have, I believe, Sunbridge Lane will connect right to Nova.
Right. That's what I'm
And
thinking.
that's where your 4 lanes are going to come in because that's
Yeah.
where the traffic's going to be because it's going to be parallel to Narcoossee
Yeah.
to alleviate traffic on that. But you're also going to have tons of shops, big industry,
Of course.
commercial,
That's
all that
all
stuff
right there.
right on that road.
And you know, it's funny, they just finished building this big apartment complex right in that corner.
Mm-hmm.
I think, is it
How about 192 and
192 and Nova,
Yeah. I've
right?
seen it.
That price of those apartments are going to skyrocket, I'm sure,
I bet.
within the next year or
You're gonna
two.
build, like you're talking, you got high school and all the.
Yeah, there's a high school going on
Maybe
there.
another Publix, I bet.
Yeah, well, supposedly there's a Publix between Old Harmony
Oh.
and New Harmony. So around that space.
Well, that's your number one indicator. Those people,
Yeah,
if
once
they're
you get
building a
Publix,
Publix,
yeah, that's
Publix
it.
is on it, bro.
That's Florida.
Publix is on it. They're in the real estate business. They ain't in the grocery business, folks.
Yeah, they know what's up.
They're not in the grocery business.
They know what's up.
They're in the real estate business.
Speaking of Publix, man, I haven't been to. Have you been to the new one yet?
Harold's?
I haven't been to the new one. Have you?
Yeah.
And you like it?
It's a fucking Publix. It's,
Well, but
it's
they have.
new.
But wait, hold on. Is that the one with the second story and they have sushi?
Yes, but I did not go to the second story because I didn't know it existed.
So I don't know if it's this one, so don't correct, but so supposedly the new Publix Styles is gonna have a sushi bar, like an actual sushi bar. They're gonna have a beer and wine like bar. They're gonna have a pizza bar. They're gonna have a burrito that you could build your own burrito bar. Like all this, seafood, everything. You could build
They
all
ain't
that.
screwing around,
Like a
bro.
jumbo.
They're not messing around.
They ain't messing around.
So I don't know if it's Cyril's if they do that or not.
I went into Cyril's. It's a nice store, and not a lot of the buildings beside Publix are taken either with businesses. But I walked in. Obviously, it's brand new. You notice that it's brand new. I didn't notice the second story. Someone told me about it when I walked out, and I was like, I didn't notice, but maybe I should have paid more attention. I
Yeah.
literally just went in to use the bathroom. So
That's what you end up Publix for.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I
No,
got-
that's nice.
Yeah,
fun.
I'll have to check it out.
But you're closer to that one? No, you're still closer
Nah,
to
I'm
the
still
other.
Closer to Narcoossee.
To the Narcoossee one.
192.
yeah, and that store, so that is the top producing store in the area.
You're
by the
pointing
way.
that one.
This way.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's
Well, this is north. That's south. So
So where are you pointing?
I'm pointing to the one at Narcoossee, on the
Yeah, so
one
it's
in
that
St. Cloud on the corner. All right, my bad.
Yeah,
That-
right.
So that's the top producing store in the area. That's like a multi-million-dollar store, as opposed to your Canoe Creek.
But it's
and,
so old though. It's
Yeah.
probably the oldest one.
Is it really?
It is in the area.
no, your one by Canoe Creek is older, because
Really?
that was built first. Because for those that don't know, Publix was actually where the Gold's Gym used to be, or the Fitness CF used to be. Do you remember that?
Oh man, I don't think I do.
So Walmart and Publix were Fitness CF, and where those two buildings are in front of the bank, Goodwill and Fitness CF.
Hey, hold on, I'm turned around. I think I know.
Tractor
okay.
Supply. I think
Yeah.
Tractor Supply was the Publix,
So Gold's-
and Fitness CF was the Walmart, or it's vice
Fitness
versa.
CF right now,
Yeah.
isn't It used to be Gold's Gym.
Yeah, so before the Supercenter was built, the Walmart Supercenter,
Yeah.
Walmart was in one of those buildings, and
So
Publix
you
was
know
in the one
what
beside
you just
it.
revealed is that I grew up in Kissimmee. When I was a kid, Kissimmee was attached, or Walmart was, and Kissimmee was attached to the Osceola Square Mall.
Okay, yeah.
And how about that Winn-Dixie? I heard there's gonna be an Aldi there. If that is that
On Canoe Creek?
on Canoe Creek,
Yeah.
is that
that's
what's happening?
That's an oldie now.
But
yeah.
that's it's an Aldi now,
Well, they're transitioning to
or
an
will
oldie.
be?
It will be, yeah.
That's
Because
a pretty
Aldi bought Winn-Dixie.
It's a pretty massively sized
Yeah, I heard
Aldi.
Yeah.
Are they gonna split it up into multiple or is that?
No idea.
Oh, okay.
They
Because that
might
one
just-
Dixie is pretty big, so
Yeah.
Aldi's are usually smaller than that.
Yeah.
But regardless, that's good. I'd rather go to Aldi than Winn Dixie for sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's different.
it's different.
Yeah. You gotta get used to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it still makes sense for the location. Because I mean, when you think about it economically, like you're out towards the manor, realistically, your people have been there longer, and your average income probably isn't as high than your actual town.
Right.
So, makes sense. And yeah, Aldi purchased Winn-Dixie, like all of them, but they
Oh, all of them.
decided to
Okay.
keep the one on the 192 in Narcoossee. That's gonna stay a Winn-Dixie.
That's gonna stay Winn Dixie.
That's cool.
I
I
like-
like going in there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like Winn Dixie.
For now, anyways. Who knows?
Yeah. Talk about there's a Chipotle we talked about right across the street from there. Pretty much. That's cool. I like Chipotle.
Yes, like
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I like Chipotle.
Chipotle.
They're pretty fresh. Like you
Yeah,
could
they
tell.
do a
Like
good
for
job.
fast food, I mean, I think
it's
that's
fast casual.
it's yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like it's fresh.
It is
Like
fresh.
it doesn't feel like it's like.
Yeah.
How long have we been waiting? You've been here for how long at this location?
How long have I lived here? In this
Yeah,
home?
yeah.
I bought this home in like 2016.
So you're of the population that has been waiting for things to come up on this side of town forever.
Yeah. And little by little, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Have you been to Sips and Dips yet?
I have been.
It's
My
cool.
kids freaking love it.
Yeah, nice sodas and cookies. I mean, that's great.
What
I
about
love it.
Split Oak? You're right around the corner.
That's amazing. We have to do
You
a,
got me on that one.
That's the axe throwing.
the
at
axe
the
throwing
escape room.
I've
place.
heard-
So
my
listen.
son wants to go so bad.
So we have to do a podcast there. She's down whenever we want. So it's an amazing place.
That's
It's
gotta
fun.
be.
So you have the arcade, you have the axe throwing, you have the two right now. And she says she's gonna do a third, but right now you have the
An
two
escape room.
escape rooms.
Yeah, I love
You have the
escape rooms.
food, you have the drinks. Like you literally could spend the entire night there perfectly.
Escape rooms are
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, they are.
We do that on all family vacations.
Yeah.
An escape room.
Yeah,
It's so much fun.
it really is.
I did
cool.
the one we did with a buddy. I have a buddy that lives in Eagan, Minnesota. First time I visited him was obviously Mall America's right there.
Oh,
So on their entire third floor is like amusements and attractions, and they have a giant
That's cool.
escape room.
Oh, I bet.
And we did that one, and luckily enough, we did it. It was just him and I, and I think his girlfriend at the time, possibly. But we teamed up with two other people. But we got like top 3 out of the whole country
No
for
way.
escape time.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know the best
Never
ones?
beat-
I haven't gone to too many, but you know the ones that are really cool in small towns. I went to in Georgia, Helen, Georgia,
Oh, yeah.
and they have they have an escape room, but they're not big. They're not,
Right, right.
it's a small town,
Yeah.
and those are so much
So
better.
fun.
They're so fun.
They're accommodating.
They're
Like,
really
they're trying to help
awesome.
you out.
Yeah, and they want the
Yeah.
best experience,
Yeah.
right? So it's really cool.
There's a difference. I did a couple in Grand Junction, Colorado, when I visited there. That was like that. The Grand Junction's a pretty
Yeah,
small
it's
town. Like when
small.
you think of Colorado, you don't think Grand Junction. It's on the west
is
side
it?
of the state,
Okay.
right on by Utah. So like you think Colorado, which is all east. Oh yeah, it is. You don't get much of the Rockies. Like it settles
okay.
into the more
Interesting.
desert mountains.
Okay.
But it's still beautiful. You have
Yeah.
your Grand Mesa is there.
Oh,
You have a lot of really interesting things in Grand Junction that people probably wouldn't know unless
Yeah.
they stopped. But I did a couple of those small town ones there.
That's awesome.
And then the ones in Minnesota, like those are your big ones, like high production. Like
Yeah,
the room opens up slowly, and you got a missile silo, and you got to open up all this
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
production
man.
value
Free is that.
super high.
That's pretty cool,
Hey,
man.
that's so cool.
The only
Yeah.
problem I think though is that it gets pricey. Because
It
you're
does
talking
get
about 30,
pricey. You
40,
kidding me?
$50 per person.
Oh yeah,
It's like-
it's a big deal.
Like I remember when like Disney used to be that price.
Oh yeah.
You
What's
know?
Disney now?
No, not $150,
Yeah.
$140
Yeah,
for it, you know?
Yeah.
But still, 30, 40, $50 per person.
Jeez.
Imagine going on a date with somebody, you go,
Forget about it.
you're right, two entrances and then
Yeah.
drinks and food, you're spending $200.
Hold on, dear. Let me close these 2 deals.
Yeah,
I can
right.
take you
Yeah,
out.
you get food and drinks with a family of 4. That's 200.
Yeah.
And then go to the
Right.
escape room.
Exactly, man. You're saying $400 in one night.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez, it's a
God,
It
lot.
is now. I'm telling you.
It's
No wonder
insane.
romance is dead.
Hey, I
Yeah.
don't know how you do it in your face. Like if I was, are you single?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm putting you on this spot, right?
Oh yeah, thanks.
No,
Yeah,
I know,
thanks.
ladies. No, but I couldn't do it, bro. I don't know how to talk.
Yeah,
to
it's
I don't want
tough.
to talk about it.
But it's tough because it's like, hey, I want to go here. It's like, all right, cool. Let's go. And then it's like $300 later. You're like, oh, I don't know if I want to go there next week. So why don't we Netflix and chill for a little bit?
Talk about buyer's remorse.
So I got a couple of friends that give me a hard time because I work too much and I'm just not interested in it. I'm just like, no, I'd rather work. I'd be like, what do you mean? You need to go out and live a little bit. But also, like, it also, if you can take someone out and spend no money and still have a great time, like,
Of course.
there you go. That's where it is.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've gone on dates where I spent way too much money
So-
and didn't get a second date. So why the
So,
fuck am I going to keep doing that?
so when you meet somebody, you got to ask, hey, do you have universal annual passes? Oh, yeah, perfect. There you go.
Right.
You can spend the whole freaking day on the,
It's rides.
And we talked about this in one of the last podcasts.
Yeah.
People also don't know how much cool stuff you can do for free around here.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Like just going to City Walk.
Just to go, the boardwalk. You could park in the boardwalk.
Boardwalk,
You can-
City Walk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And just walk through.
You got to tell them you're going to ESPN.
Yeah, or something like that.
I
Maybe you
mean,
do go, and then you don't lie.
Well,
You,
yeah.
you get a beer, and then you.
yeah,
feel
that's
like
it.
you didn't
That's
lie.
it. And then you ride the bikes for $10 or whatever,
Yeah.
and you go around.
Look,
Have you
fella-
done that, by the way? Have you done the bikes with the
No.
family? You got to do that.
Really?
At the boardwalk. So it's
I
like
the boardwalk.
it's the.
I've just never done the bikes. I've
So,
never seen.
you've seen the
like
bikes, right?
No.
Well, it hasn't. It's not new.
It's like 10
It's
years.
been there.
Which,
and I'm
which
gonna-
boardwalk?
I've been there
Where,
for like 10
what
years.
were you
So the
talking about?
Disney boardwalk.
Yeah, okay.
Right. They had the bikes, right? They had for 2, and then they have for 4, and then
Yeah.
you put the 2 kids, the 2
Yeah,
smaller
yeah.
kids in the
You're
front.
talking about like the
The pedal. The
the
pedal.
ones where
Yeah.
you got the person
Yeah.
behind you on the bike.
Yeah.
No, the one that you have to work, right? And it's fun, but then when you have to go up the hill, as a father, every single time I had to push, I had to get out and push
Oh, yeah.
because there's this hill, like a 45-degree incline.
Oh,
It's like,
boy.
all right, where I think we're stuck, so we have to push. But it's an experience. It's like,
Oh, you have fun. So much
it's
fun.
great.
Laughing.
Yeah.
And not that it's free, but it's not.
It's not break the bank.
It's not
Yeah,
break the bank.
exactly. Yeah. And Jason and I talked about this. Like, I know a lot of this stuff because I'm a Florida local. And, like, when you grow up here, you learn to
Yeah.
do free shit pretty quickly.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
I've-
in high school.
Like, you can literally go to Disney, go to, like, 4 of the hotels, just walk around, jump on the monorail. All that's free.
Oh, yes, true.
And you can still experience Disney.
Yeah.
You're not in the park, but you're still
Right.
experiencing Disney.
Yeah, you do. You still hear the "Please stand clear of the."
Oh,
Yeah,
the door,
exactly.
right? Yeah, I mean, we did that
Yeah.
once because we did brunch at the Grand Floridian, and we thought, oh yeah, Grand Floridian or whatever. I
Yeah.
spent $250 on brunch.
Yeah.
Like that.
$250 on
How long
brunch.
ago was that? I bet it's
6 months ago.
450 now.
No.
I went and ate breakfast at the Grand Floridian a couple months back, so yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive. And then we said, all right,
That's
well,
any alcohol?
no alcohol.
That's what I
I'm
mean.
telling you.
$450 for alcohol.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
alcohol
probably,
before. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then we said, all right, since we're here already, let's just go on the monorail and just go around and just pretend.
Yeah.
But after, we've been there so many times that it's like, all right.
Yeah, it's better for new people that don't really know the tips and tricks.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, it's magical until you break your wallet.
I mean,
Yeah.
the good place is Disney Springs.
Disney Springs.
I think Disney Springs overall, I think you get
It's cool.
it
Blown up.
it's changed so much, though.
it has, but like, you could pretty much do all facets of what Disney pretty much offers. You still get that
Great
experience, great
Oh,
restaurants.
yeah, for sure.
I did a scavenger hunt there not too long ago. It's
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, then you have to go around, and I
Yeah.
mean, it's cool. You get the
Yeah.
kids going.
Yeah, your family bonding
Yeah,
experience.
it's good. It's good. And
That's
then we're
what-
competitive. So, we say, all right, let's see who the
Yeah.
first ones to get it. I was there running through.
Oh,
Excuse me,
yeah.
excuse me. It was,
You're knocking over kids.
oh my God, it was a blast.
No, it's cool.
But yeah, that's a good experience.
Yeah,
But
man.
I'm excited for Epic Universe, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
pay the $150
It's not
bucks.
open yet, right?
May
Okay.
22nd.
I know some employees that are getting in currently.
You know them personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. What do you think?
And they like it.
Yeah?
It's-
They
it's
they
gotta
really
be
enjoy it.
decent.
I know someone
They
that
wouldn't open something.
I know there's someone that works there that she's been there twice now.
Yeah, what did she say?
She's
She
a
loves
huge
it.
fan. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that if you look at it, like they purposely left land open, and you could see, you could tell they're gonna expand.
Yeah.
So in 2 years, 3 years, that thing's gonna be a monster.
Yeah.
Because as is
They're
right
grabbing
now,
Disney on that.
yeah,
big time.
for sure. As is right now, it's bigger than Islands and City Walk combined.
Wow.
Yeah.
Islands and City Walk.
Jeez.
It's already bigger than that.
That's incredible.
So when they open the other spots, it's going to be pretty much combined
Yeah.
of that whole Universal Orlando area.
Yeah, that's 2 giant parks.
It's
Yeah.
amazing, amazing.
Disney's giant because parks are
Dude,
everywhere. They're
yeah.
not.
You
right
know what
next
I'd
to each
love
other.
to do? I love to do a live. It doesn't have to be a full podcast episode, but let's do a live at Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh,
Would you be willing to
that's
do
good
that?
to me.
Dude, anything scary, I love.
Dude, that would
I-
be. Or we could even do the Trail of Terror here
Yeah,
in St.
Trail of
Cloud.
Terror, because I want to volunteer
do
to
that.
be a character because
Yeah.
Jason has time for
Jason
that.
at Theater in the Cloud. Yeah.
Because
Oh,
someone told me recently that I was kind of psychopathic because they asked me, like, I love Halloween, okay? I love Halloween. And they
Yeah,
asked
dude.
me, why do you love Halloween? And I said, because I love watching people get scared.
So funny
well,
funny story. I don't think I've.
Slightly psychopathic.
Well, it's because, like, when I'm walking through a haunted house, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get
Do you
scared.
watch a lot of horror movies?
Yeah, when I was younger, I watched horror movies
So-
all the
Yeah.
time.
So funny story on that. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but when I was younger, I would say my late teens, early 20s. I would say late teens. My brother and I, he's an engineer. He worked for NASA.
Yeah.
We used to build haunted houses.
Yeah, you showed me
I told you.
pictures.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So we used to build haunted houses. So it would be like almost like 1,500 square feet, right? And people from the neighborhood would come. And this was I'm not talking about like fake like this is 2x4s. This is drywall.
Yeah.
This is not roof, but it had a tarp,
Yeah.
right?
There was some
And
effort.
It was some effort. Like I'll show you some pictures.
That's cool.
But it was amazing. And then
Yeah.
at one time, and I'm not sure if I shared this with you, but there was these like kids, cause it's neighborhood kids, right?
Yeah.
And I love like the aspect of scaring people, right? The same thing that you did. So I had a little, shitty mask or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever, Jason mask or whatever it is, cause of course. And a little girl had a can of silly string.
Did she spray it in your face?
And then when I scared her, I got out of nowhere. She sprayed it for like 10 seconds.
She makes.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, I had to take off my mask, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, just.
Like she sprayed my entire face. I'm like, come on, like this is just like just go
That's crazy.
but
Freak.
she freaked out because we had it in different corners. We had lighting, we had strobe lights. I love it. I love
Oh,
it.
that's amazing. I bet there's a whole art in that.
I mean, my
How
brother,
to set it up.
my brother's a genius.
Like
Like he,
pop out of somewhere.
yeah. So he had corners, and we developed
Yeah.
it. It's really cool.
That's too cool.
Yeah. So Halloween Horror Nights, I'm excited. I think we should do it live for real.
That would be awesome.
Just do like a.
It's so scary.
Just to get it out there.
Last time I
Your
went,
13-year-old would love it.
Oh yeah. My daughter would be.
She would. She would. All right.
think
My
she
daughter loves it.
I think my son thinks he wants to do it. But I remember being their age and going, and it scared the hell out of me.
But at the end
I
of the
went when I was 10 and it actually scared me too.
Well,
And that's
10 is a
surprising
different story.
because
Like 10 is
Yeah.
already young.
Yeah.
They
but
do a really good job.
They do
Yeah.
an amazing job
Yeah.
there.
But now I walk through and I'm like, I know the production that goes behind it, and I'm just like, oh, that's
It might
awesome.
not
The
be scary
makeup,
to
the
me now.
effects, like, I'm always paying attention to those
Yeah.
things.
So
It's still scary though.
yeah.
You can't help your bottom of your brain when somebody pops out at you. You can't help.
So
but
here's the other
startle.
thing too, and I'm not sure if you know this, but I used to work at Universal, so I did it for 2.5 years, and I had backstage passes to Halloween Horror Nights, and I did the light on the tour
Yeah.
with the lights
Oh,
on.
Cool.
So ever since then, like
Yeah,
I always
takes
say,
some of the magic. Or
well,
takes
yes,
the
it
fear
takes
out of
it takes So you say, oh look, that's how they do that. Oh, that's how they do that. Oh, this is where they come. So every time I go, it's like, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that.
Yeah.
So every time I go with my kids, it's like,
You
all right,
kinda prepare
this
for
is
that,
it.
Yeah.
Especially the little one, right? Because the
Right.
little one,
You don't want them to be scared out of their head.
well, yeah, but yeah. So I don't know if we're gonna go this year, but I think we should do that live.
Yeah.
And then maybe I want to take my daughter for sure.
I want to.
So, yeah.
I would love to get more involved with the Trail of Terror. Like I've gone there the
I did
last
for sure.
4 years in a row. I love it. Like I go with some family members. We go every year. And this year, so funny story. So this year in October, we were at kind of the back of the line, but we always buy express passes, so we don't have to wait in the line.
Oh,
So we get up to the front of the line, and they're like, "Oh, how many's in your party?" I'm like, 3. And then they brought 2 more behind us. But there was a group behind us of like 4 people, and they're all teenage girls getting scared of
so
just
fun.
the guys walking
Yeah.
around. And I'm like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?"
Maybe it's a little too
They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Can you include the group behind us?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Dude, it's gonna be so fun
So
going
fun.
with them.
yeah, just to go with people.
Like-
yeah.
It's
like,
you're watching a
Please
70s
include
slasher
the group
movie.
behind us." So they walked up and they're like, the gentleman's requesting that you guys go with them. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And they're like, well, if that's the case, you lead the group with the light. I was like, we're not using the light. We're going.
We're going.
Yeah.
That's
So Trail
awesome.
Terror, since it's right here in St. Cloud, I love it. We should partner
Yeah.
for sure. We should figure out a way to
Yeah.
go in
Who
there.
does that?
The city.
Really?
It's the city. So, but Jay, Theater in the Cloud,
You said that.
promotes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
he was on video this past year. Like they walked into a movie theater setting and they had chairs, and then Jay was on screen talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
Rip from the Silver Screen was the theme. So he had a lot bigger of a part this past year.
That's cool.
So you know what too? Mick Farms. Have you been to Mick Farms?
Yes.
So they do like the cornfields.
Yes.
I think it's not Trail of Terror.
They do like a.
They do like a whole trail thing.
That's cool.
Between the cornfields.
Yeah.
I went, and because you're going through, you don't know what's happening. So it's like a haunted house
Right.
without having a haunted house.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
And they
cool.
have all the teenagers, all the little kids coming out,
Talk
scare you.
Yeah.
It's great, and it's cheap.
Oh,
You know,
that's
whatever it
so
is,
cool.
5, 10, 15 bucks. Like it's
Yeah,
great,
Yeah.
and it's local, and it's your local farm. It's where you
Yeah.
get your eggs, your meat, your
Don't get any
milk.
better than that.
It doesn't. I love it.
That's cool.
So I hope they do it again this year.
Yeah.
And when we first met, that was the event I threw at Royal when I worked there.
Yeah, there you go.
Was we did, so I brought on, because Royal always did Big Santa. That's their big thing for the holidays. So
Okay.
Royal Realty, Ian Reinhardt will do Big Santa. He's got this 40-foot inflatable Santa
Yeah,
he
that's
does
cool.
every Christmas. And it's an awesome event.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to introduce a Halloween event. So we did the office completely. Jason was
Yeah.
there. Completely did the office like a haunted house.
That's cool.
Went through
That's
the
cool. I
back.
love it.
And I was like, this is what I want to do. And then
Yeah.
I tasked the BNI with doing a trunk or treat once you exited.
Oh, that's
So it was a
perfect.
whole community involved, local businesses.
That's the key. That's the key. Community outreach. That's
Yeah,
important.
but,
Yeah.
you guys
Trying
are
our
like
best,
the
man.
brain children
At
of
all, man.
Osceola County, I think. Especially St. Cloud.
Yeah.
Okay, so not glad you mentioned that. Going back to what you said earlier about your most creative years being between like 16
Yeah.
and 25,
Right?
I didn't experience that. Like
No.
I'm more creative now than I've ever been.
I get what you're saying. You're certainly smarter.
Well, thanks, but I mean, I'll let you say it.
But yeah, that's a good point. I just think that, and that's such a closed-minded thing. If you married that idea, like, oh, I'm 27 now, so I'm out of that.
Yeah, you can,
You
man.
can't think that way.
You can't
Yeah,
think
no.
that way.
No way. And look at all the people, like, the great artists. Picasso. I'm
Yeah.
sure he painted a lot of those in his 40s, 50s, 60s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think being in real estate, and real estate can tend to be, especially the higher you get, a very transactional business. Like it's
Oh,
very
yeah.
transactional business. But I think the pioneers of any industry have that natural creativity. Otherwise, they're just going to follow orders and be like, okay, this is what I got to do. That's cool.
Yeah.
But anyone that's like CEO, billionaire,
Yeah.
one tweak, two tweaks, like
Yeah.
look at things differently and create
that.
something different.
That's
And
so
it's
true.
hard because you naturally get pushback. Like when you go to someone who's making millions of dollars and you're like, hey, can you like implement this? And they're like, no. I have a philosophy that success closes your mind.
Well, okay, you
Yep.
know, I've heard someone say when you're getting started, you need to say yes to everything. And then when you start making money, you should probably start saying no more. And so
Sure.
I think what it is,
It's a
you
mindset.
get into a mindset of, because you just can't say yes to all the inquiries you get all the time.
Right.
Right.
100%.
But it's also, but you're right, you could totally pass a good thing just because you're in that no mindset. Saying no to, call it solicitation.
Yeah. I run into it a lot in real estate, and I run into it with people that have made tons of money. There's just like,
Yeah.
they get in that dominant mindset of like, no, this is the only
This
way
is
to
the
do
way
it.
I've
This is
done
the
it. Yeah.
that's the way.
Right.
That's more
Yeah.
what it is.
Right.
This is the way I've done it, so this is how I'm
Yeah.
going to teach it.
Right.
Which makes complete sense.
It does, but times change.
Yeah, and there's more than one ways to skin a cat. Like when I
Yeah.
go to the real estate events, the one thing I noticed that everyone on that stage did it differently. That's why they're on the stage. They each have something different
That's
to bring.
cool. That's a good point, dude. This
Every-
guy's on fire right now.
Well, everybody, yeah, of course, but everybody fails different, and that's how we succeed, by failing,
That's a good point too.
right? So, in order to succeed, you need to fail.
Dang, dude. You guys are bringing
You need to fail. I mean, well, we're in this
true.
together, man. That's what it is. That's what it's
you guys
about.
Are making some great points.
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
Just do it up and just be the best you can, and
Yeah.
fail a couple
Yeah,
times and fall
failure
forward.
Is a blessing.
what is it? Fall 7 times and get up 8.
Yeah.
Like that's what
There
it
you
is,
go.
right?
I like
So
that.
you keep
Ready.
you keep it going,
Keep
man.
fighting.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
That's what's about.
Yeah.
I love
Fall
it.
forward.
Yeah.
Fall
I use that
forward.
one a lot.
Yeah.
I say that a lot.
Yeah, and I think another thing I get with arguments and with people discussing topics is like, I think a lot of people get lost on right and wrong. Like, if I'm right, you have to be wrong. Most of the time, and I say this to anyone, and I've said it in relationships, and you brought up dating earlier, is like, I think if you have an
I'm not
argument,
dating now for
no, but I think if you have an argument with your spouse or with your business partner or someone else, I have a rule of thumb that if the argument lasts more than 15 minutes, both parties are either right or they're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just comes down to communication.
Yeah. 100%.
yeah.
100%.
And just
I'm with
because
you.
one party is right doesn't make you wrong. You can
No,
both
there's
be
probably
right.
right and wrong on both sides.
Yeah.
That's what makes it
Yeah.
so dang complicated sometimes. But communication is the key.
Yeah.
100%. Communication.
Yeah.
Organization.
Yeah. Yep.
So I would love to make this a staple, cigars and
Oh,
guitars. I
what?
mean, I know you played it a little bit, but
Yeah.
like this should be an ongoing thing.
One of
just
these
hanging
days, I'm
out.
gonna break my embarrassment and just start singing.
You should.
Yeah. So maybe you could play something that's
Yeah.
not now, and then next time
That's
play
good.
something, and then you could sing. I can sing. too,
I'm
we
not
could figure
fucking.
it.
I'm not singing.
Yeah.
I don't mind singing, man.
Come
You could do
on
maybe
with
play
it.
some Nirvana, you know,
Yes.
yeah, or
Done.
some of your Johnny Cash,
Oh,
and,
done.
and we'll do it up,
Don't
man.
tempt me with a good time.
So cigars and guitars is going to be an ongoing staple.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to do this regularly. I don't know the venue. I mean, it could be here, it could be at the office, and then we'll figure it
that's
out.
right. We could do it at my office too in the front.
Yeah, front porch.
area.
Yeah.
Just gotta. Yeah, we'll get it. We'll do it.
But I like it. So I mean, special thanks. So again, Old Fashion Cigar
Yes.
for these amazing
They're
cigars.
great.
I'm looking forward to going to the lounge soon again, and then special thanks to our sponsors as well.
Yeah.
You know, United Construction Solutions. We talked about that. Your 4 Aces junk removal. I mean, they got a new truck. They got a new
Yeah.
Austin. Yeah, I talked about it.
Met with Austin today because B&I meeting was today, so
Yeah.
I spent some time with him today.
All season.
He's doing so well. I'm so
They're doing
happy
amazing
for him.
Yeah, all seasons seamless gutters, and they started installing the lights. I don't know if you knew that,
No,
but
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, but the lights, the
That's
eave
cool.
lighting right there in the eaves,
Yeah, those are.
you know, for the holidays,
Yeah,
right, and the
right,
gutters.
year-round.
Yeah.
People are, you know.
Yeah.
If it's Halloween, you do an orange. Yeah.
Yeah, and Complete Construction. I mean, they're awesome. They allow us to go and use their spot.
Yep, use their venue.
But Complete Construction, they do playgrounds too. If you need a playground
Good.
set, they do awesome work.
That's cool.
You know, Aaron does the
There's a lot
roofing.
of talented people in this town. I've
Yeah.
always said that.
Yeah,
I usually say it in the context of musicians. There's so many good
Sure.
musicians in this town.
Yeah.
A lot of great, would you call those? Builders, artisans, what? You know what I'm saying? Just crafted people.
yeah,
Crafty.
yeah,
Or
Yeah,
films,
just
there's a lot of talent in
ingenuitive.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Sorry, the walking thesaurus over here.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean-
I just keep mumbling and let you
That's
finish.
what that's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's great.
So there's a lot of good
True.
people. There's a lot of good people
Oh,
here,
yeah.
man.
Great town.
Yeah, but I love to get more sponsors. I love to get to build this more. We have a good setup. You know, we're enhancing, we're growing as a podcast. I think this is great.
Exciting. I'm excited to be on it.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I'm
this is
also
great.
excited for those people that are in this town, like the ones that are in their 20s and 30s and 40s, and like that's the future of St. Cloud.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
exactly.
evolution of business is
Yeah.
just like those are the people that are going to be trend setting for the future of business. So, you know, dealing and working with those people, I'm excited for the future.
Yeah.
Yep. No
But
doubt.
you know, the one thing that I want to do though, like if we could figure out, like this podcast should be a little bit more. I like the casual element.
This is fun, man.
I like the casual element more than the sit-down professional element, frankly
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah.
I think the sit down professional element at first is great for someone who we've never met before.
Fine.
Yeah, advertising, things like that.
Yeah.
But getting more common guests like Kenyon coming on here more than like
Yeah.
walls are like we talked about. Walls are down. It's far more
That's what it
casual.
is.
Like
Yeah,
people people are going to connect with that
Yeah.
more than we're all business.
Yeah.
The stories will
I
connect
know
with
this-
people
I would
more.
have more fun watching this.
Oh yeah. So
That's
wait,
because you're in it.
wait until you see our next episode. Well, but hold on. Wait until you see our next episode of Constructive
Oh
Conversations
no, it's great.
in the pool. So quick teaser.
Oh,
we're gonna
yeah.
get into a pool and literally, and we're gonna have in the,
tuning in.
in the pool hanging out.
Yes. Yes.
in our bathing suits and just chilling and hanging out in the summer, talking with the
Bathing
boys.
suits.
Don't-
Yeah, well, whatever, man.
Well,
Or
you
you're gonna be in your regular
can't be in
suit.
your suit.
You could be in your suit too, man.
that works. We'll tell Austin and Aaron, you know, that you're gonna go in your suit in the pool. But teaser, constructive conversations coming to a town near you.
Do you know how many times people have approached me in the street and then been like, "You're not wearing a suit today"?
Oh, I get it all the time.
Yeah. I'm sure you do too. Yeah.
Last night at Dairy Queen, they're like, "Oh, I've never seen
You're
you
not
in
in
a
a
hat
suit.
before."
So it's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I love though
All
too.
that. Because I wear a cowboy hat and sing a lot, but
Yeah.
So for Around My Town, we have our magazine, and this month we're actually in the cover of Around My Town, myself and Dalton promoting the podcast.
I've seen it.
So 3 people in the last month
Yeah.
have approached me and say, "Hey, you're the guy
that
on the
guy."
magazine." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am,
Yes,
actually.
that's-
Thank you for
that's cool.
noticing. I
It's
appreciate
so
it."
cool, dude.
And then there was even one
Yes,
with the
it's got
squiggly
me
eyes that
big
you
money.
saw, which is pretty funny.
That was
That-
me.
Oh, you put the squiggly eyes.
Yeah.
Oh man, you could have lied about that, but
Yeah.
but the fact that you have that negative publicity, whatever it is, just something funny,
Oh yeah.
puts, you know, I saw the logo out there.
Puts it-
People saw it more.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
No,
I love it.
That's
It's great.
So cool. I'm happy for you guys.
Fun
We're
fact.
just-
I'm honored to be a part of it.
It's great.
Oh,
We appreciate it, man.
we love that you inquired and then you continue to inquire and
Yeah.
you hosted us tonight, which
love
we're
you to
incredibly thankful for, which is awesome.
No, dude.
And yes, fun fact, if you see googly eyes around town, it's probably me.
That's probably him messing around, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mustache.
Just googly eyes.
Imagine
What's
the
the
mustache
googly
is funny. He's a little.
Like, you mean to make, like,
So,
no, I get this little sticker.
so fun
oh,
fact.
you put sticker on.
So fun fact, I travel in my glove box. I have a whole bag of googly eyes.
This guy.
And just to
Man.
entertain myself,
I thought it was somebody else, man.
to entertain
And you
myself,
put him on the-
I put them on cereal boxes at the grocery store.
You do?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I
That's
put them on
fantastic.
magazine covers. I'm just like, you know what would make this look better?
Yeah.
With googly
Googly
eyes.
eyes.
I get the whole Halloween and that you're like,
Yeah.
And you put it on me instead of putting it on you. I mean, that's what it is.
You had 2 eyes showing.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. It made more sense.
And speaking of, that whole photo shoot was a lot harder and more complicated to take because of this dude right there. I don't know if he had a bad week or a bad day or whatever, but to take that one
what
picture,
was he doing?
nothing, just his face was like, all right, you know, just smile, at least be engaging or
I
something. He's
can't-
like,
I'm just not, like, you have to catch me when I'm actually smiling.
Yeah.
We had
I've
to-
seen that.
yeah, we had to get a,
Sometimes it's hard to act like you're not taking a pic. Like you're acting like you're not posing.
right. Well, we had to get a stripper behind us, you know, like to do something, so at least to him to have a little smile or
Yeah.
to get something.
As good as it.
Multiples.
To get his attention,
Multiples.
you know.
Yeah.
So in the background, that's why he was smiling, not because he was looking at me,
That
but
really
because
happened?
No, that part was super
I
awkward.
was about to say, where were you?
it was that Old Fashion Cigar actually.
Oh,
We had a couple strippers come out, and that's what it is.
That's why the place is packed.
That-
No,
Yeah.
these cigars are great.
No, man, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Great people,
Awesome.
you know, and the bartender,
Yeah.
not guest was the owner, but the gentleman,
Tony?
it was a Tony. Yeah, Tony. He was helping some guest or whatever. He go, hey, I'll help you. Let's go. You
Yeah.
know, I'll take
Shout
pictures."
out to Tony. Tony's a
Yeah,
good guy.
Tony from Old
Tony,
Fashion.
Tony runs he's great.
It's
customer
great, man.
service.
I actually see more of Tony than I do of Gessler sometimes.
And I spoke with Tony when I sit down because that's his job. He's just like, I don't work a day in my life. I love doing this.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like you can tell
Yeah.
when that's a
That makes
character.
That's what it is, man. He doesn't work because he lives close by. He comes and hangs out. Yeah, I think that was out.
My other one's out.
Oh, there
My
you go.
torch is out.
That's how I feel about real estate most of the time. Like pricing properties, going to properties, working out deals and negotiating. Like,
Yeah.
I may not look it because I'm super stoic when I'm negotiating. I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I
yeah,
love it.
man.
I love her.
No, everybody knows you love it, dude. You're too passionate about it.
So this has been great, Kenyon.
been
I
great, dude.
appreciate it. I wish you could be here all night, man.
Yeah,
I
bro.
appreciate it.
This is, yeah, no, I've already said it. I really appreciate it.
So this is gonna be an ongoing staple for sure. At least we could do once a month. You know.
Next time we're gonna
Well, me and Coach-
we're gonna go on that swing set and do the
On
whole
the
up
set.
on
Of
swing
course
set.
we will.
Yeah, but I want more playing. I want to see if we can incorporate
Okay.
guitars a little bit more. Maybe we could do some karaoke, some
Absolutely.
acoustic stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
Old Blue. It's Old Blue.
There you go, Oh Blue. How long has it been with you?
05? Since,
20 years, man.
Yeah,
Look at
since
that.
Since I first moved to Nashville, that thing's got some love. You can tell it's been beat up quite a bit. It just keeps sounding better and better.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
That's what it is. That's what it's about, man.
that's it.
Carry
Well, I
me
appreciate you,
Me
man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
along.
Listen,
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Kenyon, Jason, Dalton, thank you so much
Yes.
for joining. If you made it through the entire video, this has been amazing for us.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And until next time, this is Live in St. Cloud podcast, the
Woo.
Cigars and Guitars edition. Appreciate you.
Too fun.